Alright, today is the Great Eclipse thing. I live in the path of totality both times, so I'll get to see that. I do live a little north of it this time, or it's like right on the cusp. So if this were like the totality, I live like right there somewhere. So I might miss it. Well, you know, I guess I'll video it when it happens because I'll be out here working. So we're gonna get this put on. That's what holds our Z-bar. And then we have to put this oil gauge in there because it turns out we can't use our stock sending unit, which is unfortunate. We also are going to put this in. That's where we're going to put that. It's tight. It's on there and it's tight now. So there that is. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and get that Z-bar. See if we can't fit that alongside the frame there. That's where that piece is going to sit down there. Very hard to see. It's just sitting there. But that's where it'll go. Alright, we got that in there. So we just took it, put it around the brake booster, and fed it underneath all that other wires. Left us some slack. I did cut a little bit of it off, but we left a little bit of slack so that we can pull that if we need to and zip tie it, whatever. We're probably going to end up taping it as well. But we're going to wait for that because we might need to tape, you know, a couple of these together. So, and it will be kind of a headache to have to tape these around, you know, the engine and everything. But it's still doable. And I'm trying to figure out where I want everything to sit. So, all right. So we've got this one hooked up. We just got to melt it. We got to melt this little thing to protect the wires. And we've got the alternator hooked up. I left some slack for this wire so that I could zip tie it up and out of the way. We've got the solenoid one ready. That's ready to go. That little sucker was kind of hard to crimp. That was the hardest crimp of the whole thing. But it worked enough to make it work. I'll just set that out of the way. I have been seeing wasps everywhere, so that makes me nervous. I don't like wasps too much. But let's see what else. We got the water temp done. That's hooked up. We left some slack in that so we could tie it back and out of the way. So now we only got two left, which is electric choke and the oil. The oil one we're just gonna hang up and tie out of the way. Electric choke will go on when we get the carburetor on there. So we're kind of done with the wiring right now because I want to leave that lifting plate on there until after I clean all those acorns out, and we'll just come out here one day and just do like a deep clean of it and just kind of make a, you know, make like a whole hour or two session for it. Alright, so we got this here. That's going to be our oil gauge. We'll find a spot in there for it. Right now, though, I already know what I'm going to do with this. So here's our light. There's the ground for the light, and then there's this light to hook it up, or this line here. This line's going into our dash light line underneath there. So we have a ton of those. So we'll just feed it into one of those, and then this will light up like it should. So we'll just take this, and this just fits in here, it looks like. Yeah, so this one, the one they've got, you just push the little sucker in there. And then, once the little sucker's in there, you're good. Alright, so I just thought of something that we gotta do. We gotta run the gauntlet real quick. So since all these wasps are out, I should have done this last week, man. It would have been a lot safer. Alright, so we need that dang bezel over there. And it is way over there next to all the flying wasps. That's great. Alright, we ran the gauntlet. We got some mud dauber nest on this. And needs a little cleaning up. Looks like some idiot painted it black at one point. That wouldn't have been me. Yeah, so we just need to clean that off and then clean this off real good. And it should be presentable again. And you know what? We have a spot open for the dank defroster that I've got. So that'll work good. And that's just another thing that's gonna go in there and finish her up. Now, what's bothering me is we don't have these little pieces that go on here like this. See that little piece, it just goes on, it just fits in there. So I guess it's not a pressing concern, but we do need to order those, and they're probably going to be expensive for no reason. So now I'm thinking, do we really need those, or can we just run it like it is? No, we'll wire brush this too, because it needs it. It certainly needs it. So we'll wire brush it, and we'll put it in there. I mean, I really wanted that wood grain one, but beggars can't be choosers, right? Alright, now I'm worried because I know they're in that driver's side. I've seen them go in there multiple times. So, let's open it, shall we? If we see them, we'll just run. Now we need to get some of that killer and put in there. What have the kids been doing? Filling it up with gasoline? We'll put a gasoline bucket over it, even though we could just spray it with hornet killer from like 20 feet away. So, let's see, we've got, I guess we can sit in here. We have not a single one of these gauges that could be replaced. However, I think I'm going to get crafty here. So we can take out one of these vents. We can take one of those out and repurpose that. Okay, and then we can make the hole through the firewall straight back, just a little pinhole. It doesn't have to be a big hole, and that should work. And whenever we put it through there, of course, we could put some silicone around it, and that'd be a way to fabricate that and make it work. I think we can do that. Now that should be on the far right, right above the defrost, right above the cigarette lighters, what we'll do. So the one right above the cigarette lighter, we'll cut out just a very small amount for the oil. That way we can put it in the dash, because we are not using AC, and the heat that we have is going to be pathetic, to say the least, because we are not going to have the proper. Right, we don't even have the air ducts in here. We didn't even put any of the ducts in here, all the duct work and everything. So we're not going to put that in there. I've ever seen, if any of you are like real GM fans, you know exactly what the screwdriver is used for. You know exactly what this is for. So part of me doesn't want to actually say what it's for, but this is actually for taking, you'd crawl up underneath the car, you'd take it, stick it against the starter, and connect the 2 points, and it'll start the start. What I'm going to do is go inside and work on that dang little bezel, and we'll have a shiny one, even though I don't like those. I am a redneck, and we do like shiny stuff, but I don't like shiny stuff that goes in my eyes. And see, this right here is bad enough. This steering wheel is bad enough. Like, imagine sitting here and driving with this glare in your eyes, and then having the entire glare from the bezel also, and your shifter because you like shiny stuff, and your freaking radio because you like shiny stuff. So, it's gonna be bad. I already know. I know it's gonna be bad because I like shiny stuff, and, you know, I did it to myself, you know? Did it to myself. There's a lot of shiny stuff on this car. Okay, so we got this installed. We had to go medieval on it. Removed removed more than I really wanted to, and we did hit this, but you know, it looks better than it did, but by no means perfect. Probably should hit it with more, but who cares? We're just gonna install it. See, we got these two little screws here that are gonna hold that sucker on. And that's fine, I think. And we're going to leave this right one open in case one of these gauges doesn't work. Oh, I just noticed we're missing our other green one here. Huh, well, that sucks. Because this is getting installed today. So we got this tubing on the back already installed. We got this little light in here. And then we're going to hook this up to our dash light wire, our gray wires in there. And then we'll hook this up to wherever it really needs to go, because it's a ground. I mean, just got to find a good spot for it. Unfortunately, most of the grounds are like a reach, you know, down towards this way. So we'll have to figure that out. And then we have our instructions and all that other stuff, because we still have to put the adapter in the back of the block. All right. 4 screws and it's out. Now what we'll do is we'll tape over the ends here so that the screws don't fall out, because we'll use this for something else and we'll just keep the screws with it. Alright, got it in there. Got 2 of the 3 screws in. The wood grain stuff doesn't necessarily fit all that great, I don't think, but we're still going to use it. I think this actually will work out just fine. You know, it doesn't look bad or anything. It looks pretty good, I think. Because it is held up a little bit here because of this. And that's probably because that other controller was slightly smaller or something. Slightly different size. But I don't think we'll worry about that. We'll just get that on there, and I'm obviously not going to change that out again. Everything else seems to be okay. Seems to go where it was supposed to go. And it might not fit quite right because it is... This dash will be a little deformed probably because I had to put it back together. Because it was broken in half at one point. So I put it back together and made it work. But we got that wired and we put it up in there. And now what we're going to have to do is grab the stuff from the back, the tubing. And then the tubing will have to be put through the firewall. Alright. That's starting to come together. It's got a couple of little bends in it still. Only took a couple minutes. Okay, here's the fan shroud. We just took it off the other car. Alright, that'll sit in there. And those will line up. That's where it sit. And that should fit perfect to hold that radiator. It should do just fine. We can go over here. I already got the radiator out as well. And I'm thinking most of that fluid, that antifreeze, most of it went into the block, so that's what you want to hear, right? Because only about a gallon of it came out, and it was full, so I'm betting a lot of it's in that block. So here it is. It's got some spider webs on it, but it is still Still brand new. We're going to go ahead and run this radiator. Nothing wrong with it. And just go like this and get that off of there. Get rid of our infestation here. Alright. Infestation gone. So, the way we'll do this is we'll take this and sit it in there. And the way I did it over here, and I still got this like half-gallon catch jug down there. But the easiest way was I turned it sideways and pulled it up this way from the passenger side. And I'm thinking that's probably the best way to do it. So, we might do that again. But yeah, you can see some of that fell out when I pulled it out, but it was some dirty, nasty stuff for the most part. Shame about this engine, man. Shame about it. Oh, this is what was coming out, like this, like mud, basically. So, not a good sign. Radiator's in. Alright, this is tightened down. We might get some Rust-Oleum and just paint it black or something. Alright, so some people say when you lift these T-top cars that you're supposed to take the T-tops out. I've never had any issues. I usually leave them in. But today I'm going to take them out because I'm going to be trying to mess around with this rear gear and see if I can't swap it out. I don't know if I'll be able to because I don't think I'm going to have very much space. But we'll try it. And I'm going to chalk these front wheels probably. Put a I got a block of wood I'll put there so it doesn't roll back and kill me. See, right now I'm using the drum brakes. It's a good use for them, right? And while we're changing the rear gear, we'll be able to change these rear brakes and finally get those converted over. Alright, we're in the same spot as I was in the last time I tried to do this. So, what has happened is I got both the tires off, and if I turn this, so we're not going to reuse this gear or else I wouldn't do this, but you can see that right there, it won't move with the magnet. That's as far as it goes. And then, from this side, we'll just go ahead and get this over here. You can see the little piece is not there, the little keeper, and it looks like somebody beat the brakes off of this thing. But that's as far as it'll go, right there. It's so good that I don't have to reuse that, because that thing is in horrible shape. I don't know how I'm going to get that out. Okay, we got this hooked up as per instructions. So this one goes to alternator as per the instructions. This goes into the ignition. And then this here is going down to the starter, and then this right here is going down to the starter. So we got two that are going down to the starter, and we'll hook that up probably tomorrow. I'm probably gonna have to put the car on jack stands in order to do that. Alright, so I've got good news and bad news about this car. So the good news, well, the good news is I'm gonna get a Ford 9-inch specifically built for a second gen Firebird and put it in this car. Bad news is it's going to cost me quite a bit of money. I shopped around a little bit and found that Jegs has cheaper Ford 9-inches. I don't know why, but because they're the exact same thing that Summit is offering. But I'm going to buy it from Jegs, and they go through Curry. And I've heard nothing but good things about Curry. So, and then Jegs has their own, like, in-house, complete third members that they sell, which I'll have to buy. And I'm going with them because, again, they're a little bit cheaper than, they're even a little cheaper than Curry. But I checked all the reviews on the Jegs ones, and people are saying that they're really good and that they don't have any issues with them. So I'll run those. They're supposed to handle 800 horsepower, which is more than we're going to put through this. I mean, it's a little overkill for our application, but if I could find a rear end that would handle 500, that was cheaper, I would put it in. But people are just crazy when it comes to their prices for stuff now. Like, there's a 10-bolt that had 373 gears, which is exactly what I need. Exactly what I was going to put in this. And the guy's wanting like $2,500 for it. That is an insane price. Insane. I'm not even going to haggle with someone like that. Because that's a price that's in the stratosphere. I mean, we should be selling those all day and buying them all day for like $1,000. There's no reason to pay more than that. And if I could find one for that price, I would go ahead and buy it. We'll go with our plan right now of the Ford 9-inch. And if we can find an affordable 373 rear end that's a 10-bolt, we'll put it in.